Hi, welcome to Bankruptcy Rocks TV. This is Michael Russo, I'm your host. Today we're talking with Rick Carter, Chief Reality Officer of Enova Digital. They help people make sales using digital media. Rick Carter's actually got quite a long list of credits to his name throughout his career. He's been the Asia Pacific Product Manager for Dun & Bradstreet Software Company, which at the time in the 1980s and 90s was the largest business software company in the world. He then went on to Nella Software, where he was the marketing and sales director for that company as well, and he eventually went into sports and celebrity marketing, where he started his own business and worked with the likes of Wayne Carey, Darren Hinch and Tatiana Grigorieva, who many of you may remember as a silver medalist from the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games. We're very pleased to have him with us today. He's a specialist in branding and marketing, and we look forward to speaking with him about your business. Welcome, Rick. Thank you for joining us today.
Great to be here.
Well, I really appreciate the bio that you sent me. You gave me a little bit of background about your business and what you've been involved in, when you're employed and also as a self-employed individual. I'm really interested though to find out how you got started when you first started out.
Well, I guess like a lot of people, I left school and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Back in those days, the gap year hadn't been invented. So I went and worked for the Commonwealth Bank. It was pretty easy in those days to get a job straight out of school. Kind of fell into data processing, as it was known in those days, became an analyst and a programmer, and fortunately for me, a boss, an inspirational boss by the name of John Nella, recognised I was such a good technician that he suggested I go into marketing.
Well done. So let me ask you this then, how do you go from being a technician to being involved in sports and celebrity marketing?
I guess I'd always had a passion for an involvement in sport on the side. It was my hobby. I'd been involved with the Sturt Football Club. I'd been chairman of the Sturt Football Club for a period of time. I'd been a fitness coach at the Sturt Football Club, and I had myself been a track and field athlete, which led me into coaching a number of athletes over the years, and also into the presentation of the sport, the marketing of the sport. So I guess I was always merging the two together.
Okay, well done. So tell me, you've worked with Tatiana Grigorieva. I'm sure that was an incredible experience. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was fantastic. I mean, Tatiana is still one of my best friends. When I met her, she'd only been in the country for a very limited period of time. She had pretty much given up the sport of track and field, not having made the Atlanta Olympics as a hurdler. She came to Adelaide. She was going to be a model. Interestingly, she was advised that she should change her name from Tatiana to Tanya if she wanted to be a model. When I met her and thoughts were of getting back into the sport of track and field, then as a pole vaulter, the first thing we talked about was changing her name back to Tatiana. As I remember saying, there's probably a million Tanyas in Australia, but there is only one Tatiana, and we can build a brand around the Tatiana name.
Okay. So what I'm wondering is, how does that conversation work? Tell me how that works. You meet somebody for the first time, you're talking about trying to market their potential or them. They're coming to you with nothing, they're coming to you with no credit, no history, no profile. Where does that conversation go?
I guess the three rules of marketing: listen, listen, and listen. And they are rules that most people disobey every day, including me. We got into a conversation. I listened to what she wanted to do, where she wanted to go, which evolved over a period of time. And all the way along that career, we were doing things that were in sync with what she wanted to do. First and foremost, what can we do to help at least provide enough money so that she can continue to train to be a full-time athlete? Having been a successful full-time athlete, how do we then leverage the fact that she's won a bronze medal at the World Championships and a silver medal at the Olympic Games into more? And I guess that led us into doing a whole range of things. She went from someone who really couldn't speak a word of English when she arrived in Australia, knew probably 3 or 4 people, into being a household name. And how did she achieve that? Because she wanted to be successful, and she was dedicated. She's probably the most dedicated athlete I've ever met. She's one person who's squeezed every ounce of ability out of her body. She will not die wondering if she could have been any better as an athlete.